Check this out. I know we haven't really been keeping up with the entirety of everything that's been going down, but I will. But we're just gonna sort of step right into where we're at. And we can always go backwards, but go check out 15 Minutes of Shame. Go check out there's a lot of freaking like YouTubers that have been covering this. Go check out Sensitive Society, Pegasus, Tectone, 15 Minutes of Shame. Like I said, really recommend 15 Minutes of Shame. Uh, they've been covering all the news. You'll be able to get caught up real quick. But basically, Ethan Klein made effectively a movie length YouTube video and registered it with like the Library of Congress to get it like a copyright. And he basically said like, hey, if you reacted like normally to it, you're fine. But there's some specific people that not only didn't react to it basically at all, but actively like were telling people to not watch the video and instead to go watch their live stream of it in order to like not give it views or support. And so Ethan Klein was like, gotcha. He's like, I basically knew y'all would do something stupid like this. And he said, I'm suing you because like you blatantly violated copyright. Like y'all, you didn't. It wasn't even like a bad reaction. It was like an act. Like legitimately, it was like them basically just live streaming the entire thing out to the millions of people that were watching them. Sorry, I said millions and laughed. Thousands, let's say, of people, hundreds of people in their audience. They have thousands of people in the audience. And so it was like the most blatant and like they themselves were basically thinking, that everything that they were doing was freaking like copyright like infringement. Like they basically incriminated himself. It was wild.
15 Minutes of Shame. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the H3 lawsuit, specifically at the service of the defendants. And most of the defendants have been served in a very normal fashion, except Frogan. She has been served, but there are some really weird circumstances here. Also, we'll talk about the H3 snark moderator, who is extremely arrogant and doesn't think he will be identified at all. So first, let's talk about the service. So in the case of Denims, it was extremely simple. She got served in person, and her attorneys are even working in conjunction with the client attorneys to identify the moderators of the H3 Snark Reddit. Now, Caseytron, it was a little bit different because it was a substituted service, and they actually served her father. So her father was on the property, he accepted the paperwork, no big deal, pretty simple stuff. Now, where it gets a little complicated is the...
I actually think we may... Did we react to that? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I definitely saw the video. That might have been while I was in the hospital still.
Case of Frogan. Alright, so this process...
Oh, Lord, what is this picture?
The server went there 4 times. This is what he had to say. The first time, it was simple stuff. Now, where it gets a little complicated is the case of Frogan.
I knew I recognized it from somewhere. Am I right? I'm totally right.
Alright, so this process server went there 4 times. This is what he had to say. The first time, it was at 2:30 in the morning, and that was on July 1st. And he says, this is a 5-story business-style apartment building that is secured by a locked door and intercom. Our subject name is not listed on the intercom list. No one was seen on the inside. I could not gain access. I decided to wait outside the front of the building until I was able to gain access by someone letting me in while they were leaving or arriving. At 3:15 a.m., I was able to gain access by following a resident.
Are you allowed to do that? I don't know. Out of curiosity, I know that people like in situations like this, they have like Like, I know 100% in gated communities when, because I have a friend that lives in a gated community and his neighbor got freaking like served, and he said that the lawyer basically waited until somebody like drove up to the thing, and then he had to basically like floor it and drive around them and get inside, and basically like steal like he cut him off. Real nasty work. But hey, lady put in hella complaints, but trust me, that was the least of bro's worries. He was getting sued.
Or a guest after they were leaving the building. I located where the unit number 403 is. I can stand up.
Well, that's who it was getting served. I don't know what the hell it actually was at the end of the day. I didn't ask them too many questions because I didn't really care.
Down the hallway and be able to stay out of sight, and you would be able to watch the unit without being too inconspicuous. At 4:30 a.m. at this time, nobody left or entered the unit. I stepped away and left the location without being noticed. No activity left.
Maybe if you showed up during like a time when people were awake, like what the hell? 4:30 a.m.
At 4:30 a.m. I don't know why, but this just sounds funny to me, to imagine that there was this guy waiting for almost 2 hours in Frogan's hallway, just listening to the crunching of the Cheetos, and he just had to wait there. That is hilarious. But he came back the next day. All right, so I'm
gonna be real with y'all. Even though right now, I'm literally doing exactly that. I'm crunching on these Tostitos salsa verdes. Oh, yummo. I basically always try to, and I've broken this rule like once or twice before in very rare occasions, like literally only in situations where I haven't ate all damn day. But for the most part, I try to avoid, especially chips, because I feel like y'all could definitely hear it. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna definitely come out in the audio. You know what I mean?
Next day at 2:30 in the morning, 2nd of.
But I guess like for Frogan's fan base, like they cool with it. I don't know.
July 2025. Upon our arrival,
I mean, some people are into like
get access the door
like
to the
feeders and stuff, right? Like locked. The people who eat.
I waited outside the front of the building.
What do you call that?
Waited for someone to enter or exit so I can gain access.
I was about to call it
5 a.m. I was able to gain.
What call it? Bukake? Nah, what do you call it? What do you call the people who eat on YouTube?
Access by entering in as a resident or guest was leaving the building. I approached the elevator and I took it up to.
What do you call the people who eat like a bunch of food on YouTube, like a lot, like a whole bunch of food?
Step back and walk down the hall, so I would not look as if I was waiting for someone from that unit. I maintained my position down the hall from 3:15 a.m. until 6:30 in the morning. During this time, there were no changes. No one was seen entering or exiting the unit. The door remained closed. I quietly walked up to the door and listened closely to any movement. I did not hear any movement. Now, you might be asking yourself, why this process server insisting on going in the middle of the night? And that is a very good question. I'm not familiar with Frogan.
Now, what's that mean? No, that's like everything on like ramen in Japan. That's what that means. Yeah.
Schedule.
No, it's a different way for that.
Watch her content. The only clip I've ever seen of her is the 9/11 clip, which is some really vile.
Her audience might be like Nakado Avocado type of people, you know? Like they might be into that.
To be honest.
Giraffe and I will make the Twin Towers out of a stacked cake, and we'll make an airplane, and we'll recreate 9/11.
So I don't know if she streams at night or she streams during the day, what her routine is like, but this process server was dead set on going in the middle of the night, and he went a third time. This was on July.
There's gotta be a genuine reason why he picked these times. Was it the only time he would, like, anybody was entering or exiting the building? But then why at PM? The second time round.
5th, 2025 at 2 a.m. Upon arrival, I was not able to gain access. The doors to the property were locked. I maintained my position outside of that main
My bad. That's the third time around, right?
entrance, sitting on a large planter. At 3:07, I was able to gain access. A resident was exiting the
Oh,
building.
no. This is the third time around. He's currently reading the second time around.
I proceeded to the elevator, where I took the elevator up to the 4th floor. I continued until I got to unit 403. No movement was heard. I positioned myself down the hallway. I had a clear view of the front door, but I was far enough where I left would not be seen from anybody looking through the peephole. This is very poorly written, by the way, so sometimes I'm trying to paraphrase to help this guy, but yeah. Anyways, from 2:15 a.m. until 8.
Yeah, you would think this floor has like, I don't know, like, can somebody like get this for Chat GPT? What the hell? Or damn, maybe he even asked Chat GPT to write the summary for him, and that's why it's so ass. Like, bro, you gotta use it as an assistance, not as a replacement for effort. Damn.
8 a.m. During this time, there were no changes. No one was seen entering or exiting the unit. No one was seen in the hallway. I made an attempt where I walked up to the door and I knocked on the door and I placed the document on the ground saying delivery and stuff to wait. I waited alongside the hallway out of sight for approximately 10 minutes. No one came. So I guess he realized this wasn't working. So he decided to go at 6:12 p.m. this time on July 14th. Upon arrival,
I placed a document on the ground saying delivery and stuff to wait. I waited alongside. Who the hell wrote this? Yo, he needs to go back to freaking preschool and relearn English. What? Complete sentences. Who the frick?
I could not gain access. The entrance to the building was locked. I positioned myself in front of the building waiting for someone to enter or exit the property so I could gain access. At 2:12 p.m. I was able to gain access. I entered in after a resident was leaving with his dog. I proceeded to the 4th floor. I approached unit 403 and I could hear a female voice talking. I could not tell what was being said, but it sounded like someone was giving their point of view. I stepped away and positioned myself in the hallway far enough as to not be.
It sounded like somebody was giving their point of view. Okay, so maybe
seen by anyone within the unit looking out of the peephole. Through my time waiting, I could hear constant talking with brief moments of silence. At 6:12 p.m., I heard the doorknob of unit 403 make noise and the door quickly opened. Stepping out was a darker female, possibly African American or Middle Eastern, in her 40s, 5'6", 155 pounds, dark, long, curly.
Okay, so definitely not Frogan.
Curly hair with dark eyes. I asked her if
No,
she was...
because she wears the hijab. Like that wouldn't make any sense. How would you see her dark curly long hair? Right? Doesn't she wears the thing. She got the thing on.
Morgan.
Not totally not because of the weight.
Why? I said I have legal documents for you, and she said she is not Morgan. I asked her if Morgan lived there, and she said no. That she said she lived there for 6 years and there is no Morgan at the address. I asked her if she would show her ID showing that she is not Morgan, and she refused. I told her since she won't show her ID that I will be serving her. She refused to take the documents, so I placed them in front of the door. The female saw me place them there. She said she is not Morgan, you can speak to the management. And then he declared under penalty of perjury that everything is true and correct. So why don't we analyze this for a second?
I feel like the way that she said it, I'm not Morgan, you can speak to the management. I feel like but then again, I don't know how this whoever the hell got sent to deliver this document, like they also like wrote this all down like stupid as hell. But so I can't make heads or tails about it really, but like who knows? I don't know. I don't know, Jake. I don't.
Second, possibly.
Might have been the mom, might have been
African
somebody
or
else,
Middle
but
Eastern. I think if you take one look at Frogan, it's pretty damn obvious that she's Middle Eastern. And then in her 40s, she's young.
I'm gonna be completely honest to you. I could confuse her for a white person.
I don't think she looks anywhere close to her 40s.
Like, flat out.
5'6", that's possible.
I get confused often for Samoan for some freaking reason. I'm not gonna lie.
Possible. 155 pounds. I think I'm
If
gonna
it
press
wasn't for the
X to
hijab,
doubt on that one.
I absolutely
Now,
would
if we
confuse her
talk
for just a
about
white
the
chick.
long curly hair, that is quite possible under her hijab. We don't know. And dark eyes. Well, her eyes are quite obviously blue. So I don't know, man. This doesn't sound like her. It sounds like he served the wrong person. That's just my personal opinion.
I feel like he definitely served the wrong person. Whether it's like a family member or something, who the heck knows? But literally, I don't feel like she would like happen to have the hijab of like the one freaking time she answers the door, right? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't think that was Frogan.
Could be her. Maybe his description is wrong, but that won't matter anyways for the reason I'll tell you in just a moment. But take a look at this. This process server charged $2,549 for his services.
Damn!
Now, when I was looking at this, I was like, man, maybe I'm in the...
No, wait, hold on. Yeah, like, how do I get this job? Bro can't even spell properly. Like, he can't even make a complete sentence. How do I do this job?
The wrong business. Maybe I should become a process server. But then I realized that he actually spent quite a few hours there just waiting in the hallway. And yeah,
I don't care. I'm spending quite a few hours out here, bro. I'll do it live.
That sounds like a lot of time, so I understand why he charged that much. But someone could argue that the first 3 attempts were completely pointless since they were in the middle of the night, but I just wanted to point that out. Now, if this is the wrong person, it doesn't really matter because Frogan will get served, whether it's in person or whether it's through a court order, because she has publicly acknowledged a lawsuit with this fundraiser. So the whole point is that if she was saying, well, no, I wasn't served, I didn't know about
Wait, really? So because she freaking publicly said that she is aware of the lawsuit, by way of having a freaking fundraiser, that means that she effectively cannot use the excuse of, I didn't know I was being sued or I wasn't served. Damn, wow.
This lawsuit
sucks to suck,
that
bro.
Doesn't work because clearly you know about it because you raised $35,000 for it. So it's just a formality. She's gonna get served one way or the other. But I thought that was really interesting, this whole thing with the process server. Now the other topic I wanted to talk about was that H3 snark moderator. That individual is something else. Alright, so this is what the H3 moderator had to say. Apparently, out of the 16 subpoenas, 9 are for me. Are Ethan's lawyers giving him good legal advice? Let me just say this. If you have 9 sock accounts on Reddit and the entire...
Yeah, it sounds like, it sounds like they're really gonna be keeping an eye out for you.
Annoy Ethan Klein or whatever, troll him. You need help. You need serious help, in the words of Dr. Phil. You are terminally online. You need to unplug and go touch grass, or even better, go touch bush. So let's take a look at what he had to say. Which brings me to this current lawsuit and the request to subpoena my personal identifying information from Reddit. This is part of Ethan's copyright lawsuit against Denims, where he names H3 Snark moderators as co-conspirators, which was part of his plan to use the lawsuits to subpoena Reddit and obtain identifiable information. Ethan alleges in his lawsuits that the moderators of H3 Snarks heavily promoted Denim's reaction, which he alleges broke his copyright. Here's the problem though, in order for the H3 Snarks mods to aid and abet in Denim's copyright infringement, she first would...
Which not only did she do, and she did do, but she herself said that she did. Not only that, but now she herself agrees that they should be subpoenaed. And that's why they're subpoenaing them currently. So basically, Denims has already effectively, it's seemingly, in my monkey opinion, I'm not a lawyer, it seems to be like Denims has basically already said, I am guilty, here's, like, subpoena these fools, because, like, hopefully that'll make the punishment less if you're able to take them down, you know, as well. Because you kind of want to spread out the freaking, like, you know, the freaking punishment. You don't want to all take it all just on you.
Need to have committed actual copyright infringement. But that is what the case is about, and no copyright violation ruling has been made by the courts yet.
Yeah, they don't need that to subpoena him, though. Like, they just needed Denim's attorney to, like, agree to the subpoena, and they did.
Additionally, when the mods promoted Denim's stream reaction before it aired, they could not have possibly known whether a future copyright violation might occur. Now here I disagree, because if you know that Denim's stream are a copyright violation, she doesn't do much reaction, she walks away and just lets the chair react for her, then it's safe to assume that the next stream is going to be the same thing. So that is not...
It also doesn't matter much there, because literally just going entirely based on the language used by the H3 Snark and the language used by Denims, the language used by Casey Tron, and the language used by Frogan, they maliciously intended to make sure that there was no views or financial aid, specifically in their words, right, to friggin' H3. So it's kind of like, it legit don't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter how much you helped in the crime. You get me? Like, just because you're the getaway driver doesn't mean, like, oh, well, he wasn't in the bank when they robbed the bank. It's like, it don't matter. If you're waiting outside as the getaway driver and you get caught, you're still gonna go to jail just because you technically didn't break any laws. You were still a part of that gang. You're also gonna get thrown in jail.
A very good point right there. Then he says, another problem, Reddit only discloses basic subscriber information in response to a subpoena, but Ethan's lawyer also demands the communications which Reddit only discloses in response to a search warrant. So even if Reddit were to give in the basic subscriber information of the H3 Snark mods, that could not be enough and amount to nothing, and they would have to file further petitions with the courts for search warrants, etc., maybe even file lawsuits against Reddit themselves, but that would likely involve a long legal battle against a big corporation with lots of billable hours. So why would they want to do so?
Yeah, so why would Reddit want to spend a single dime protecting you? They're just gonna give you up immediately. What the hell's Reddit gonna do? Why would Reddit protect you in any way, shape, or form? They're just gonna give you up immediately. Just like how what's her face? Not Frogan, the other chick. Denims, the same way Denims gave you up immediately.
Such a thing. Ethan might present this as a big win, but it's just another nothing burger.
It's not a big win. It's just him letting you know that he now has the permission to go after you. Like, the big win is when all of you get freaking sued to oblivion. Like, at the very end of everything. Like, this is like them basically finding out that they're about to get sued and already claiming victory.
It's only a petition to ask the judge for permission to subpoena Reddit, and they are already celebrating, laughing my ass off. I think he will gloat on his show about how everyone is trembling in fear, but I am not concerned at all.
No, they got permission. They didn't ask for permission. They got permission.
I literally laughed about all of this. So I disagree with him on several points. First of all, I think that Reddit is not going to fight too much to give up his personal information. This is a
I honestly, genuinely believe Reddit is not going to fight at all. They have literally no reason whatsoever to fight in any way, shape, or form. Like, it is not worth a single freaking dollar to try to protect one guy who breaks the law.
Legal court order if it's issued. So I think that Reddit will give the information, whether it's IPs, email addresses. Now, if he was using something like Proton Mail, then that might be a little bit harder to track him through the email address. But then again, I guess time will tell. but I'm pretty damn sure that Reddit will comply with a legal court order because they.
I mean, shoot, at that point, then, hats off to the guy. He freaking protected himself and whatnot. But in most cases, I just really haven't seen any of that kind of like stuff work. Like in a lot of cases, the IP address, all that stuff, it's got you like via the cookies, via like all that stuff. Even when you press no, I don't accept the cookies, you still get the base default cookies of any website. Like, if you go to a website and it tells you, do you accept all the cookies? You can put reject. You still got the base cookies of Reddit. You can't avoid them. You need to accept them to use a website. You're just not accepting every single one. You get what I'm saying?
Don't really have a choice. Anyways, that's it for the video.
So
I know
getting
it's a
like
new
a
topic for me, but you
IP
guys...
address, hardware IP, like if they want to get that, I'm not saying they do, but if they wanted to get that, in most cases they just can. If you want to use their website, you know what I'm saying?
To be very interested in this type of topic on other channels, so I wanted to cover it. Moving forward, I'm going to have the same mantra when it comes to the Johnny Somali videos, where I only bring you new and fresh information. If you appreciate that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Absolutely amazing video.
Welcome.
By 15 Minutes of Shame. Please go drop him a like, go drop him a sub. What a freaking phenomenal YouTuber. Always makes some top quality content. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link to his video on the Discord. As well as, if you are watching on the VOD, it'll be down in the description below. Please go show some support. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Sadu!